My name is Rick Kreger. This is for PRM 360. I am currently going to the Mount Elden lookout point. I started not too long ago. I like to make things more of a challenge than it needs to be, probably more so than I should. So I brought a pack, and I'm trying to do this at a decent pace. It shouldn't be too bad. It's like 2.5 miles, so do it pretty quick, hopefully. Yeah, once we get to the top, I'm going to show you a few things in which I find interesting, geographically, geologically, and historically. And I'll check in with you later. Bye. So I'm back again. We're about halfway up the Mount Elden trail right now. It's, like I said, it's about 2.5 miles, and I'm probably about 1.5 miles in. So we're almost done. Tried to turn it into a little bit of a workout and keep a quick pace, you know. Anyways, so we're up here. We have beautiful views over Flagstaff and over Summit Page. It's absolutely gorgeous. I've encountered some other hikers that are up here. They are they're up from Phoenix. They have some beautiful dogs, but I know I'm getting way off topic, but they were up here to see the snow and see, you know, what was going on. It was cool. I gave them a little bit of a rundown on, you know, the history lesson behind Elden, at least what happened with the radio fire of 1977, and then Schultz fire, and just the origin of how it came to be named Mount Elden. So I thought that was pretty neat. So back again, probably about another half mile up. Got some cool, gorgeous views here for you, besides that one tree, but that's okay. These breaks help me, and it's nice to give you guys a little update too. Kind of stops the monotony of what's going on. So I wanted to stop and take a second about some historical aspects of Mount Elden itself. Now, Mount Elden was named after a fella named John Elden. He was an early Anglo settler in the late 19th century. Him and his family used the hills and valleys and ridges throughout the Elden region for their cattle grazing. In total, Mount Elden, the elevation of Mount Elden, is 9,301 feet. And I believe the base of Flag is like 7,000 or 7,500. I'm not exactly certain. I should have checked that before I said that, but that's okay. Now, throughout the region, we have the San Francisco Peaks, and Mount Elden is one of 5 silicic, I don't know if that's pronounced correctly, volcanic system within that region. So it's one of 5, which is pretty neat. It is composed of dacitic lava flow. Pretty sure I pronounced that one correctly. We're going to move into some animals and species of animals. The animals we have, or you'll often find on Mount Elden, you'll find dozens of species of bats, jackrabbits, porcupines, coyotes, elk. I believe between 2012 and 2014, there was like a big tizzy of a sighting of a black bear on Mount Elden, which I remember that was being pretty cool. But yeah, so you'll find black bears. I had even heard on the research that I did was that you will find the American bald eagle. I've never seen one. That would be really neat. But I thought that was just kind of a cool feature where we live and what's right in our backyard. That's cool. See that? I'm not good with this technology, so I'm trying. The foliage that we'll find on Mount Elden is a diverse group of foliage. Includes yucca plants, juniper, alligator juniper, ponderosa pines, cliff roses, gamble oaks, things along those lines. In the current state that it's in now, obviously I chose to take this class and do this assignment in the wintertime. So a lot of things are covered, still beautiful as it was, or as it is, but a lot of things are covered and it's hard to tell sometimes. So that is the quick rundown that I wanted to give you on some of the history of Mount Elden and why it is named that and after who. And then some of the animals that we can see and some of the foliage that you will see. So I'll check in with you guys later. Okay, bye. We've reached the top. We decided to come down a little bit to give people their space and let the people at the top do what they want to do. And you know, for a lot of people, it's a time of contemplation or meditation, or it just gives them, you know, their peace. I didn't want to intrude on their stuff. Another thing to keep mindful too is always bring layers. You can always dress down if you need to, or drop layers. It got chilly quick. So I want to speak on, we gotta acknowledge the view too. Look at that. What I wanted to speak on was the radio fire of 1977. Now this occurred on June 17th. So it's about 42 years ago. People said that from Flag itself, it was to be viewed as like a massive Christmas tree on fire. It's a shame it ever happened. And a lot of these fires occur out of negligence, out of campers and campfires being unattended and just not paying attention. But that was the cause of the radio fire of 1977, was an unattended campfire. It burnt about a little over 5,000 acres. And 40 years later, we're still seeing remnants of fire damage, burnt trees, burnt pond road, burnt all the foliage has been burnt one way or another. Lava rock, just the sedimentary stuff, it's been burnt. You can find remnants of that fire. Regrowth has occurred, but 40 years later, 42 years later, we still, you know, there are obvious parts that are like, wow, there's definitely been a fire there. So we all need to be mindful of our campfires, or even like, you know, our individual stoves. If you use like a jet boil or something, like, don't be stupid. So yeah, the radio fire of 1977 was a huge deal for Elden, and it's still suffering the consequences currently. And so that's a you know, an important historical situation that set a good precedent for us. We should have known that already, but it really instills campfire safety and just campground safety in general. So let's be mindful. All right, going down a little bit. Hey guys, so I am currently on my way down from the point, or from the top, and I wanted to throw another historical, like, important thing in relation to our sacred lands or national monuments or national parks. You know, Elden's been burnt up twice now, and one of the fires, the Schultz fire of 2010, burnt up a good chunk of land as well. And this is all due to negligence on our behalf. And it's a shame, and it's so preventable, but it's so true. Only you can prevent forest fires, you know? And we're diminishing the history of these important spots. Now, I want to say a few things about the Schultz fire of 2010. I'm going to go ahead and step off here in a moment. But the Schultz fire of 2010, I believe, take a look at my notes. Yeah, it burnt about 15,000 acres. And that's insane. They had to evacuate 748 homes throughout Flagstaff, all for the negligence of, you know, a camper unattending his campfire or leaving the ashes smoldering. That's a no-go. Don't do that. In total, we had around 300 firefighters respond. Within 2 days, of the start of the fire, it's still somewhat iffy on the days in which it started. They know the general time period, but 2 days after, I believe, yeah, it was 2 days after, it was 20% contained. And then I believe 4 days, or no, by June 25th, it was 40% contained. So this fire was burning rampant for, you know, at least a week. It's a shame. It diminishes the historical value and respect and appreciation we have for all of this. All right, guys, I'm going to continue heading down. I believe that's all I had in relation to the Schultz fire. But I'll see you at the bottom, guys. So we're back at the bottom. We are pretty much all done. I hope this sheds some light on a historical spot, especially that I love, that's been damaged severely by negligence and just stupidity. So I really hope it struck a chord with you guys, and that maybe you'll be a little more observant, and hopefully go push yourself to get out there and go see some cool public lands or national parks or monuments or just cool things in general. All right, guys, have a good day.